quality of this box. You have that right. That's what I plan to talk to you about later, but, sorry.
So it's okay, I mean, I'll try to give you a call, maybe
Yeah.
like 2 weeks from tonight, we have an agenda meeting, maybe we can explore it a little bit more.
Yeah.
We get a couple copies.
I have a 5-minute thing and that's it, and then you can, for during public hearing, then go, and that's it. That's all I have for you later, so.
One last thing, I mentioned that Time Warner said they were gonna be delivering uniform service to what they have everywhere else. That's gonna include Cablevision, internet, and
Yeah, the whole package,
phone service.
phone service.
So that will be an enhancement to that one.
And again, I'm no way talking them down or talking your transfer between Cablevision and anybody, or whatever time, Princetown Cable and Time Warner. It's all a good thing. Just
You could be better.
extract every ounce out of the deal. That's what I'm telling you.
It's like a 20-year deal.
Yeah, you're talking it's a 10, 20-year deal, so make sure you extract every ounce out of it. That's all I'm saying.
All right, well, tell me which Edwards is on top of it, so that's all good news. All right, thank you, sir. Anything, Bob, for Todd? Joe? Lou? Thank you, Todd. Justice, I know, Michelle, you're not here in official capacity, but I do know you have a used computer. I was hoping we could use that. I'd still like it at some point to set up a computer out here in the lobby for the citizens to come in if they want to do some research, especially with the work Mary Sue and the Civic Committee are doing with Irma. So if you get a chance, you can drop it off or so.
Well, I do want to just say that it is, in fact, a computer that is not operating properly. That's why I got rid of it. So if you're going to put a new hard drive or maybe upgrade it, it's not going to be, for seniors to sit on it and try to compute, they're going to get frustrated because it's so slow and it doesn't really operate properly. It's got the lines down the screen. So if you have an alternative, maybe there's another one someplace else, but you can take a look at it.
All right, that'd be great. Yeah, for maybe $100, maybe a big screen and a keyboard or something, but yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Supervisor, so water bonds. I did send it out to distribution list. I'm not sure if I caught everybody. If I did not, I apologize. We have been approved to refund our water bonds, all 10 of them. There's a 156-page document on our website. It's 156 pages of numbers. So I'm going to ask the board tonight to go ahead with the first steps in the refinancing. A short version, and again, we're still going through the numbers. I do have some preliminary, very preliminary numbers here, but overall, if we refinance our bonds, we can say that a present value, which is today's, in today's market, like exactly today, like $220,000 on the 10 bonds. Over the life of the loan, loans, I guess, because we're going to refinance all 10, it's more in the neighborhood of $350,000. So, I, at first glance, have to say this is a win-win for everybody to refinance. It's going to bring it down to some historic lows as far as percentages go. Initially, it's going to drop some savings. Again, these are preliminary. Please don't quote me on them, but they're preliminary. We're kind of looking at, in some of the districts, a savings of, $25 a year, $40 a year, something to that effect. It's not huge, but, when you look at the big picture, $350,000 on a $2.7 million loan, it's pretty significant. Over the course of the loan, it's probably a 7.8, 7.9% savings. Typically, I think Mike can correct me where I go wrong, but for the controller's office to approve it, at a minimum, they require a 2% savings. So we're up in the neighborhood of 7 to almost 8%. It's like 7.7, something to that effect. But Again, in present value, it's about $220,000 savings. Over the life of the loans, it's $350,000. The documents on the website, I will work with Mike, his partner is John Minot. I'll work with Isla and George. I'll try to get you some exact budget figures. You know, what the savings will be, you know, per user or per parcel. Again, this is just on the principal, and obviously operations and maintenance is going to be figured separately, but, so I think that's a pretty good news story for us, or for you in the South End. So a little more on that to come, I guess. Just some very initial discussions I had with Isla this afternoon. You know, we actually, hopefully we can reduce that a little bit more, because we do have some, we did appropriate like $166,000 this year in tax and principal payments. So our thought was if we could cut a check and write and pay off what we owe this year, and like April 1st, we finance on April 2nd. So. I'm
And
sure
on time.
it'll be a lot of timing, so kind of excited about that. So,
Can I say something?
yeah, sure.
You know, a couple of years ago, I brought this up about refinance and was told it couldn't be done. So for all the naysayers out there, I think that I found out that it really could be done. And I think that both you and our attorney and his staff should be commended and applauded for all the hard work you did to make this happen, because that is a significant savings to the people in this water district. I gotta say. So, that's what I have to say about it.
Thanks, Lou. Next item is the comprehensive plan. So they're still moving along. They're making some great progress. They've made some changes. I think the committee has heard some of the feedback, so there's been some, I don't want to say dramatic, but some significant changes in the document. So we're still plugging along with that. And what's important to me, anyway, I'm sure it's to everybody, but one particular piece that's pretty important is we need the comprehensive plan completed and approved for Mr. Carver Larway. As we know, Mr. Carver Larway has a proposal for a new project down on Route 20. And with that, going back to the water bonds, it would be a significant and even greater savings to the folks on the water districts. So, you know, I think it's important that the comprehensive plan keeps going and we get supported. I mean, we're still open for comment. Please drop emails in. But, you know, even for the water bonds, that's a pretty important piece. And I know, you know, Lou and Norm Miller are still trying to work with Metroplex too, so it's still a pretty important piece. But they're moving forward, so we're hoping another month or so will be done. Violence in the workplace policy, I have to admit, folks, I didn't get anywhere on it this month, so I'll have to table that. Foreclosure resolution, it's in tonight's agenda. I think we talked about it. I'd like to support it. Just to touch base with everybody, as we experienced in our town with the resident that there was an abandoned property and garbage and stuff was piling up, and there wasn't really much we could do because the bank owned it, the bank was in North Dakota, and they weren't keeping up the property, and the town really couldn't do anything. This foreclosure resolution, which will be at the state level, says once the bank takes over a foreclosed property, they need to maintain it. So if the bank is not maintaining it, the town can step in, maintain it, and bill the bank. So I think it's a good resolution. You know, I think we'll do it again. The gazebo, as we talked about last month, Lou, through his excellent gazebo hunting skills, has found a gazebo for $3,900. I'd like to ask the board tonight to okay a deposit on it, and as soon as the ground is able to accept it, we'll go ahead and set a foundation and put the gazebo back up for veterans. We'll actually hopefully make a couple of dollars, we'd like to put a formal pad to sit the gazebo on and not just sit on the dirt. It's got electric, so we'll ask the electricians to come in and wire up some of the outlets and lights inside it. It's got a screened-in porch or screened-in windows and door. Oh, we need to put a handicap ramp on there, so I think we'll be able to do that free on the insurance company. So.
Say anything about the gazebo? There's one thing about the gazebo, it's a little bit smaller than the other one. The other one was a 14-foot gazebo, this one was a 12-foot. Joe and I did, after I found it, Joe and I went out and looked at it. He was quite impressed with it. It is a little bit smaller. They do make one bigger, that is significantly higher in price, probably $55.25, if I'm not mistaken, where I was quoted at. So I think that losing of the 2 feet and the 3,900, Joe, do you think it's a good?
The quality, all the miter joints are nice and tight. The siding's not, it's already wired for electricity, lights, and
Screens,
everything.
removable
And
screens.
the screens are removable, so in the winter time, you can take them out. So it seems to be a very well-made unit, and, good deal.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
I don't have some quotes over here that we had from before, so I'll give you a couple copies.
Food procurement policy?
And you can see that they're all significantly higher than the estimates that we had, so.
Great work.
And I have to let the fellow know, because he called me today and asked if, I told him we're having a meeting tonight and we'd be talking about it and see if we can get it approved.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be in agreement. It's a good deal, and we'll go replace it with the ramps, the electric, et cetera, so it's money to get back from insurance.
If everybody's happy with it being 2 feet smaller and a little bit, it's not gonna look exactly the same.
When you walk inside,
It's cozy.
what?
Cozy's the word. It'll be cozy.
Yeah.
All right. Interviews for a new court clerk. So Michelle, I'd like to say, actually, I'd like the board. I do have some resumes for the new court clerk position. I'd like to set up, I'll send out an email. I'd like to do something either Monday or Tuesday next week, or maybe Monday the following week, if everybody's available. And then I'd like to stagger them, I don't know, like every 15, 20 minutes, no, maybe every half hour. It's a pretty important question, so.
Weren't you gonna provide me with copies of those, Mike?
Yes, I am. I haven't opened them yet, Michelle, they're still on my desk. Yeah, I will, obviously. So if that's okay, I'll send it out, and if you guys can just acknowledge that, you're good to go, and start at 6 and do, 2 hours, 3 hours for first night. If we need to do a second night, then we'll do that. And I'll ask Carol and myself to make up, the 7 or 8 copies we need and distribute accordingly. Okay, the 2012 budget was submitted successfully and on time, so good news there. We will share the budget results on the state of the town. Not formally announced it, but I'm thinking it'll be the last Tuesday in April. No, the 23rd, not the last Tuesday, but it might be the 23rd or the 30th, so I'm still working that schedule, but at the state of town, we'll review our 2012 budget, and then the 2013 budget plans going forward. Norman Skill Repairs, DEC, the NRCS, and FEMA thing on Mr. Hayes' property and Dr. Reed's property. So I'm asking the board tonight for permission to sign the permits. The final design is being met tomorrow. I don't know if Doug copied you. If not, I'm sure he copied it. Make sure you. Well, check your iPhone, George.
I gotta look at it, it's $11.
Check that newfangled gadget. And if everything goes good, as soon as the final design's been approved, obviously I'll forward it to Mike Cuevas. We'll take a look at it and put it out for final bid, or for bid, and then hopefully we can kick that off. So I think that's all I have. Bob, anything for me? Questions, thoughts?
No, I think you covered those very well, Mark. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jazinski?
Well, I would just like to compliment you, Supervisor Brooks, for all the hard work that you put in, especially with the water line, that issue. And I know you put in some long hours for this town, and that's much more, I for one appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Esposito?
Well, I already stated what I have to say about the water bonds. Thank you for getting that done. I think all the residents in the south end that have water, that are involved in the water, which should be appreciated. With all the efforts that you and our attorney and the staff put in to make it happen.
Good deal. Mr. Edwards? All right, we'll close this piece of the meeting now and open it up for public comment. So step up to the,
I'll go over it.
and address to the board. Just state your name and address.
I got it.
On behalf of Mr. and Mr. Ominski, 836 Weeks Road, I believe it is. Solar, consider microinverters versus a overall one big inverter. They allow you to run, if the shade is a panel or something is wrong with one of the panels, it won't take down your whole array. It's not one panel at a time. And you can build them as you go, 17 panels at a time. So if you only have money saved for the 3, you can put up 3, run the cable, and just come bolt on the next one as you go. So it allows you to build multiple things into each 20-inch circuit. Government in your town, this place is amazing compared to my town. Congratulations, please, this is great. Open and conversation occurs, unlike next door. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Cable television. Again, I am not here in any way to discourage the transition from Time Warner from Princetown Cable to Time Warner. Just to give you information. Cable television is not what it was 20 years ago. If your document looks anything like ours in Rotterdam, it's probably 30, 40, 50 years old now. It needs to be updated with some of the simple things such as new definitions, a discussion on encryption, build out needs to be addressed, advertising should be addressed, and quality of equipment should be addressed. These are, understand in New York State, we believe in home rule, and the town is the smallest portion of home rule and can have any law or code more restrictive than the state as part of your town handbook that they give you when you guys become a board member. So please take advantage of what you can.
Can I ask you what you mean by build out?
I'll explain that, and then I just want to just name some of the big subjects. So we have new definitions to deal with in your document. You want to address encryption, build out, advertising, and quality of equipment. Yep. So encryption, like we talked briefly here while I was sitting in the chair. Downstate in Monroe Woodbury Central School District, so whatever town that lives in, their cable franchise agreement did not have anything about encryption. So Cablevision, not Time Warner, but Cablevision just magically said April 1st, everybody must be encrypted. And they sent out a letter, and the town got, or the school district got the letter, they ignored it, and in their high school they had some 48 cable tuners that distributed cable for all the students. We went in and updated the backbone of the system. Unbeknownst to us, on that day, July 1st, they turned it off. I'm in there August 1st, I go in and start putting my stuff up, I had no signal. So I started calling around and found out, oh yeah, we turned everything to encrypted. Their rule is every television must have one of these. They want to rent these because it's not about, what they want is they want more money, obviously, to pay for the rights to watch the television programs. It's not really about this equipment so much, it's about the back end where, you turn on your television and you're watching whatever piece you want, but they have to pay money for every time those shows get watched. So they're trying to gather up money to pay for that to keep your cable rates down. That's why they're gonna, I can't say they're gonna do it, but if they do it, they have your hands tied if you have a 20-year agreement with them. So you definitely want to address encryption. I would tell you, it's okay, but you want to have a better basic cable service definition than just over-the-air stations, because what they got was over-the-air. So over-the-air for school is not very good if you want to watch soap operas in school. It doesn't work so well. So you may want to address what you call educational or informational as part of your basic cable package within your agreement. So CNN, MSNBC, all those things should be part of your over-the-air portion, and you want them transmitted at 720p minimum, so that you don't need this box to get the news, okay? You don't need this, but you're not gonna need it for 610 or 13, or Channel 23, or PBS. Those are all over the air anyways, they're gonna give you those. It's if you wanted MSNBC's, you know, all those news channels that have educational value, or possibly Discovery, History Channel. Those are educational type items. You want to list those out, long form in your agreement saying, we expect these to be transmitted without encryption at 720p, so our tuner that's already in the television you just spent $1,500 on works. Does that make sense? That's the simplest way to talk about encryption.
720p?
720p. And the deal here is they're outputting 1080i, okay? That's what they output in Rotterdam in Time Warner. The simple math of this is 1080i is 540 lines this way, 540 lines that way. They're opposite each other. So you only see 540 lines at one point. You're not seeing all 1080. So you buy that 1080p TV, you're only seeing half of it. If you demand 720p, which they can do, then you're going to get all 720 lines. You're at least going to get a better quality signal across the board at 720p as a minimum transmission standard. You're not asking them to break the bank. You're just asking for a 720p minimum. If they give you 1080i, you still want 720p minimum. It's a higher quality signal. And I've seen it in, I believe, Tampa. The city of Tampa has it in their cable agreement what the transmission rate is. So it's not that it's not done. They just don't want to tell you. They say, oh, we don't do that. Yes, they do. They do it elsewhere in the nation, just not up here because no one's asked. Let me go to my next one. So we did encryption, build out. Time Warner is a very large corporation. They have received government money in multiple places for rural build out. You are a rural town. Everyone in this town in the past, and this is not Princetown Cable's responsibility so much, it's a Time Warner thing. You expect full build out in your town within 5 years. Every road in the town should have a cable running down it. And the cost for a citizen or a person on that property, they should not have to incur a cost for the cable from the street to the building they said they want service. And I'll give you the easy example of this. That little section we talked about in Rotterdam between Old Arrival Road and I can't think of the nature preserve. Time Warner wants Maple Ski Ridge to pay $7,000 just to get it up the street. Okay? That does not address the extra money to get onto the property. It's a little hard to run a business that relies on France for their lift tickets